Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Chenny Study Hub. Nasubumi kenalin, my name is Chenny, and today I'd like to evaluate on the things that I just did, which is soal literasi UTBK ya, literasi bahasa Inggris pada tahun 2023. So I got this PDF from one of the users in Twitter. So if you guys wanna kind of like study with this PDF, I'll also try to put the link on the description box so that we all can study together. So without any further ado, let's just get into since this is an evaluation, so I don't think I can cover up all the questions, but I'll just try to evaluate on the question that well, give a lot of new vocabularies for me since I'm not a native speaker, of course. And yeah, we'll try to look at those questions. So let's start from questions number, and it's talking about the animals basically. I think I'm gonna be using English since guys, I've been joining speech competition for like years, and ever since I've become the 12th graders, like I try to reduce the amounts of competition that I join. Even up till this day, I haven't joined any competition. So by speaking this, at the very least, I can still have a bit of the English accents and try to preserve the vocabulary that I have. So let's see. So in this case, yeah, we're given two different texts, the text 1 and the text 2, and we're going to answer from question number 15 to 20. So let's see. Okay, there are two texts, right? Text 1 and then text 2. And they're basically talking about the animals. More specifically, it's a squid. Yeah, it's a marine species. So let's see the question number 15. It's asking, according to text 1, how would male squid scare off their enemies? Now, I think it's pretty explicit because we just have to look at the text 1, try to search for the informations, and more specifically, information related to how would male squid scare off their enemies. So, of course, as an animal, you gotta scare off the other enemy. You gotta scare off the other enemies, because well, survivals and all things like that. So let's just see the text one. See, just try to the practice of scanning and scamming. You just have to look at the words. For example, like scare off, we just have to look at is there and the first paragraph that has a word scare off. Now when we try to see, there is no the word scare off or something related to the question, right? So continue to the paragraph 2, is there? Yeah, there is. Now, if we just start to read from the first sentence, Eduardo Sampaio, am I spelling his name correctly? Eduardo Sampaio, a biologist, observed something strange in the Red Sea in Egypt. Oh, it's a very ancient country, right? Because it has a lot of history. I would like to visit Egypt one day. So we get the informations on the second sentence. Here, let us read together. When the male squid had already paired up, a dominant male would scare off rivals by waving his tentacle and making his skin flesh white with black stripes. Strips. I don't know how to pronounce it. Stripes, strips. But I think it's a stripes. Am I right? Let us try to hear first.
Stripe.
Stripe. So it's not strips, it's a stripe. So I hope you guys know what does stripes here means. So basically you have two different colors, right? And they're somehow adjoining to each other. So for example, here I have the blue one and this one is white. Well, I think it's pretty how to say it. It's pretty visible, right? It's pretty visible that it's blue, and in this sections you're gonna have a white, and usually it's a long narrow how to say it, it's a long narrow a strip on the surface, a long narrow on the surface that have different color from the adjoining parts. So here we get the informations. that when the male squid had already paired up. Now, in this case, I think it's a part of still something related to romantic, because if we look at the next sentence, then he would leave his mate, it's like you're couples, right? You're couple. Well, I shouldn't say couples with s, because we gotta be loyal, so no s for this one. So what would the male squid do is that to scare off their rivals is that by waving his tentacle and making his skin flesh white with black stripes. Now, in this case, this is kind of implicit that the male squid will, of course, changing his skin with a black white strips to scare off, to make maybe to make their enemies sort of bail out. Well, so yeah, that's just the point. Sorry for yapping a lot, but I just want to practice my English. So let's see. How would they scare off their enemies? So enemies and rivals, they're just the same things because they mostly have the same definitions. Now, enemies is like someone's that we're competing with, right? Often have a negative connotations, while in rivals, it's more likely the same thing, and we're competing with them because we have the same objective, the same thing that we'd like to achieve, right? Now, I think it's pretty obvious they would turn their enemies by waving their tentacles and changing the colors of their skin. So the answer is obvious, it's A. Okay, so let's just continue to number 16. Which one of the following is opinion from text one? So actually, if the question is asking you which one is the fact, which is the opinions, actually we don't have to look at the text one because that's just gonna be a time wasting. So there is a very quick way to solve this. It's just, bro, just look at the options. Because I think it's pretty obvious to determine which one is the fact, which one is opinions. One contrasting element is opinion is very subjective. It often involves diction that is something related to personal preferences, while fact it's objective. Usually, it involves something that is really happening in real life. For example, like the names of the people and then the date of the something. Now, let's see from option A. In scientific writing, this trait it's like the behavior of something was not found in any squid, octopus, or mollusk. If I'm not mistaken, mollusks is like a types of animals that have shells in their body. Now, let's see. So it's a fact, right? I think I gotta give a bit of note. I actually do want to speak Indonesians. I have tried to explain a question in English and Indonesian, and it's very hard for me to changing. It's like when you change the language, it's like you're changing the souls of you. So let's just try to stick with one language, which is English, because well, I just want to preserve my ability. Now, if any of you don't know what traits really mean, it's like the behavior, okay, the behavior that belongs to something. Okay, so it's a fact, so it's not a correct answer because the question is asking about the opinions. So option B, Eduardo Sampio, a biologist, observed something strange in a red sea in Egypt. Well, that's a fact, right? It's not an opinion because, well, observe, it's a past form, so it has done before. So C, then he would leave his mate for a few seconds to swim into a crack where eggs were laid. It's a fact because it's something related to the behavior of the squid. So let's continue. Once a bigger male has mated with a female, he stays close to keep other males mating with her. Well, it's a fact because it is stated directly on the text that the reason why it's a fact because well it is really happening in real life. And the last one, the little. So there is some dictions that is objective here. Let's see the little. Okay, it's a small one, shiny, big fin, riff squid. So if any of you don't know what does big fin mean here, it means having a notably large fin. Large fin. It's like something that you that the most of the fish use when they try to sense in the ocean, which lives in coral reefs from all over the world. And here we have another addiction, which is maybe. It's a possibility that, well, it might happen, but usually it involves an opinions, right? For example, like, I might go to your hometown, I might go to my hometown soon. Well, that's an opinion because there is a maybe, there is a possibility, and that is not clearly stating that, okay, it is happening right now, right here. Okay, so the answer is clear enough. It's E. Okay, hope that helped. So let's continue. Question number 17. So in the question number 17, the word day in text 2 paragraph 4. So we just have to focus on the text 2 paragraph 4, especially the word day. So let's see, text 2 paragraph 4. Actually, it's very hard to, determine which one is the paragraph because like they're just connecting to each other. But I guess if we try to differentiate them, this one is paragraph one, and then just try to look if there is like a very long spaces here. That means the end of the paragraph. It's the paragraph two, okay, and then this is the paragraph three, and then four, and then oh well, I think it's still connected. Okay, four. So the question is, I sometimes forgot. Okay, text to paragraph four. Okay, because that is the last paragraph. Let us see. Okay, which one? Let us first try to look at the word day because there must be only one day in this case. And here we get the day. The team reasoned that if the colossal squid, it's more like its types of squid, held its arms up in a cockatoo position, the lower arms would be longer, as they would have to reach further mid to tips of the upper arms. Here, we know that the word they refer to the upper arms of the squids. So the answer is obvious, it's the lower arms. Another reason why it's day, because well, there is more than one arm. Okay, lower arms. So if we only answer arms, it's not right because there are two types, the upper and the lower arm. So we gotta be more specific in this case. Let's continue. Sorry. So it is asking about the relationship between text one and text two. Oh my god, something is moving. No, no, no. I mean, my pen is moving, right? And I thought that was like because of the gauze. And after it turns out that there's a rules, and I accidentally moved these rules with my arms. So yeah. Okay. So let's see the relationship between text one and text two. So guys, here in this case, we gotta find what they're actually talking about. First, we know I gotta use different color because it's different context. Okay. In the text one, it's talking about the male squid and how it behaves, right? For example, like when it is involved in romantic relationship. And then, still talking about the male squid here, there is also research about the male squid done by a biologist. There's also expert blah 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 octopus. Okay, the behavior, and they think what it's a paternal care. Okay, so it's still talking about the male squid and the behaviors of it. But if we try to look at the text too, it's no longer talking about the male squid. Instead, it's a colossal squid, especially how they swim. Okay, and if we try to look at this again, we gotta understand that it's mostly talking about how the colossal squids, something related to it. Scientists think that colossal squids, and there are a lot of repetitiveness, a lot of repetitions of the word colossal squids. So we know that the text too, it's talking about these types of animals, the species, right? So if we try to look at the options, okay, option A, text 1 describes the behavioral consequences of the squid morphology explained in text 2. Now, here's the thing. Morphology, it's like a types of, it's like a branch in science that is talking about the structure of something, right? Structure. Well, there's something wrong with my stylus. Well, it's actually not my stylus. Stylus, a structure or form of something. Okay, so it's not correct because it's not a behavior or consequences. It's just a normal behavior. Okay, it's just a normal trait. But if B text to discuss a hypothesis, it's not even talking about the hypothesis, right? The C, each text talks about a particular types of squid, and this is the right answer, right? Because male squid is different from the colossal squid, right? Okay, so the answer is C. I hope that's clear enough. Well, let's continue. Number 19. So in this case, let us use the same color because I recently love the color is green because it's so light and it's so beautiful to see. According to the text, informations about unusual squid movement found by scientists can be found in. So in this case, because it's something, it's talking about the strange behavior of the squid. So let us just try to differentiate first, because I don't want to confuse the informations if they have the same color. So let's see, is there any other words that we can try to pick that, okay, the squids, they have very unusual traits. Okay, let's see. Text one. Is there any? Paragraph one. Okay, no. Okay, so if we try to look at the paragraph two here, I don't know if this is really paragraph two. Edward Sampaio biologists observed something strange in the Red Sea, Egypt. Okay, this might be a correct answer, but first we gotta try to find the other informations provided on the paragraph. But first, let me try to confirm my answer. Number 19. Okay, so that's the first thing. Okay, newspaper. So this is the only information that it's talking about the something strange about the about the squids, right? Okay. Next paragraph and next text. Which one, guys? Can you try to find one? Let us see. Things like this one. Scientists think that the colossal squid, like any other crocodiles, does not usually swim. Okay, so because there is this word doesn't usually swim, something strange, right? So we can tell that the information is in the text of paragraph 3 and the text 1 paragraph 3 as well. So the answer is D. Okay, so based on the information, let's use this color again. Based on the information from text 1 and text 2, which of the following will most likely happen in the future? So here we're gonna predict what's gonna happen next. It's not even talking about the extinctions, because when we're talking about the extinction, it's like because of the, people they try to kill and then they try to um probing for the squids. Well, I don't think that's a correct vocabulary, but yeah, probing is basically like when you try to find something very hard, especially when it has contains information. So it's not correct. Scientists will abandon squid behavior. Well, it's not right, because instead it will try to have conduct more research, because if we analyze from the text one, the behavior is still unclear. Okay, so C, research will still be conducted, so this can be right, still be conducted to learn more about male big fin squid and the swimming positions of the colossal squid. So this is the right answer. Okay, so thank you so much for watching till the end, guys, and I hope the evaluations and the explanations are clear enough. If you guys have any other questions related to the things that I just explained, so let's just hit on the comment section and see you at the next study session with me, Cheney, in Cheney Study Hub. Bye bye.